Hey guys, welcome back to another DMZ video. Today we're going to be talking about loot locations on Ashika Island in the DMZ. And with Ashika's Island, it is very difficult to find loot and get looted up unless you know exactly where to go. So I'm going to be showing you the locations that I use if I die and where you can get 3 plates, backpacks, self-revives, everything you possibly need. Some of the spots are going to be kind of tough, but it is possible to do them solo, as I have done all of these spots solo myself. If this content helps you out, make sure you hit that sub button, and let's get started with the first location, which is going to actually be the easiest here. Okay, so these little apartment buildings up here in E4, F4 area will usually have a stronghold. While on the other side of the stronghold, you can actually find loot boxes in the upper floors and the very bottom floors. So you can find 4 boxes without going into the stronghold at all. But if you have a stronghold key, you can get an extra 4 boxes. So you can get 8 boxes here, and it's a really good loot spot. I usually get a 3 plate and at least a medium backpack out of it, and sometimes a self-revive, sometimes some guns, stuff like that. But if I spawn in close to these buildings, I will go to them and just check them out and make sure, because it's a really good loot spot and there's really not much danger here, especially in the early game. The next spot that I want to talk about is Strongholds. Strongholds over on Al Mazrah were actually not that good to do. You might get 1 box, and so it really just wasn't worth doing the Strongholds there. But on Ashika Island, you can get multiple boxes. You want to find a stronghold that's on one of the bigger buildings, like this one that we're looking at now. But inside, you're likely to have 3 to 4 boxes, and usually there's not too many enemies. It's the enemies that spawn in after you go in, so you have to be kind of quick. Make sure you have a thermite to take care of the shield guys, but get in there quick, get all the loot, and get out before the helicopters land. So this is probably my second choice to get looted up, just because there is a little more danger to it, and it is a little harder to do solo. The next little loot box that I want to talk about is the supply drops that come towards the end of the match. Doesn't seem like anybody ever goes for them, and they have a ton of good loot in them, so make sure that when you see them drop, you're going for them, you're getting the loot out of them, you're getting the kill streaks. Sometimes there's 3 plates, backpacks, everything you need, and like I said, I've never really seen people go for them. Very, very rarely. So definitely take advantage of these supply drops that come in. Some of the key locations on Ashika Island are really, really good, such as this Lost Room 403. And I'm going to have all of the key locations on my channel so that you can find what keys are good. And I'm going to show you what loot is in each location, so you know which keys to hold on to and which not. But this 403 is really nice to have in your inventory. If you get killed, you need 3 plate, backpack, stuff like that, you can always go to one of these little key locations and get loot from them. And it's probably one of the easier spots to get loot. All you have to do is know where the locations are. The last 2 spots that we're going to talk about are really kind of difficult, but the loot that you can get in them is really, really good. The first one is the hidden bunker that's just past the sub. If you go all the way to the back where the 3 waterways converge, there is a spot that you can dive into the water just past the sub, and you can go into the back of this little cave area, and there's some platforms to jump on into the bunker. Once you get in there, there are several orange boxes that you can loot, and it's a really good loot spot if you can get back to it. But there are a lot of enemies, and there are juggernauts in here that you have to deal with. So it's not necessarily easy to get to this loot spot. But once you get back here and you do this bunker and everything like that, you can, when you leave the bunker, if you go to the right, you can actually take the zip line up and go into the basement of the castle. That's going to take us to the last spot, which is going to be the hardest as a solo player to get loot from and to complete. I have been able to go into this area by myself and loot some of the boxes, but it is very rough as there's a lot of enemies. There's a lot going on in here. There's bombs, there's tripwires, there's other players. So definitely a struggle going into the castle, which you can go into the castle from the basement, from the bunker area. And if you were going to do the weapon case solo, I actually would probably go up through the basement instead of trying to deal with the Wilson and everything like that. All you need is the key to get in, and then you don't have to deal with anything going on outside. You can just come up through the basement, loot what you need to, and get out. There's also weapon lockers inside here. If you get the key for it, you can do those. So this will be the last loot spot, but I hope that these loot videos have helped you guys out. I plan to do an updated one for Al Mazrah. I've just been a little sick lately, so I'm trying to get videos out, but it's just taking a little longer. So hopefully this helped you out, and I will see you guys in the next one.